Today we react to how IShowSpeed became the propaganda breaker made by Tommy NFG. And I think I know what he's talking about. I don't know what this video's about, but if it's about that Africa tour stuff, well, yeah. Cause I seen another video of somebody else talking about that. Antonio Talks. Yeah, he was making some good content, but I seen him talking about that, and then yeah, you know, he's actually doing a good thing. He doesn't know, he doesn't realize he is doing a good thing, but he's doing a good thing. Cause when I was younger, I used to see videos about Africans and stuff. They used to make it seem like that, you know, Africa was dirty. And, you know, it used to be, you know, that skinny African kid trying to get some money and stuff. Like, you know, the whole time Africa is nothing like that. The whole time we've been told lies. But we finna get to the video though.
Gone through a lot of phases in his career as a content creator. There was his 2021 era where he was getting canceled left and right. This is the year where he blew up completely out of nowhere and had zero filter on his.
No, I thought the year he blew up was 2022 though, cause I ain't heard of him in 2021 at all. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Streams.
My God. Go make some. No, you're black! Say if we're the last two people on Earth and we had to reproduce to make the world continue, would you reproduce with me?
Yeah, safe to say this was a completely different person to the Speed we know now. You got 2022 to 2023 Speed, where he matured a bit and started doing IRL streams and events, where he was kind of doing anything to push the bounds and get clips, but he wasn't as wild as before.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Speed now, yeah, he's way different. I ain't gonna lie, he's way more mature. Like, he still does joke around, but he doesn't do it as bad as, you know, his old streams and stuff.
And you got what I would say from 2024 to now, the global known Speed, where he has these massive IRL tours planned and visits with these crazy crowds following him. He has to have at least 4 security guards surrounding him like the president, or if he doesn't, he'll
Nigga, 4, he needs like 10.
get dragged out by his limbs from ferocious people in the crowd. But what I noticed from when he does these tours in different countries is that it's no longer just some streamer guy who's filming his experience. It's become a thing where people are getting the intel on how a country is and how its people are by him being there. Because what other way do you get the raw input of a country more than someone walking around with a camera and just talking to random people fully live? Going to random restaurants and events where a lot of people don't even know him and interacting with them. It's to the point where people are now dubbing him the guy that breaks the quote-unquote Western propaganda hold, showing people how a country actually is instead of whatever the f they got fed from the news or their government. And we can see this more than ever now that he started his Africa tour.
Yep. Cause yeah, I watched a video about Antonio Talks talking about it. I ain't gonna lie, like, he makes a valid point. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I know for the older people that was in my generation and shit, I know I'm 19. I know that shit sounded like I was like 30 years old. I'm 19. Chill. I ain't gonna lie. Chill. I'm 19. But anyways, yeah, I know y'all used to be in school or not even in school, just TV. I used to just watch TV in general back then. And yeah, they would make videos about these Africans and stuff, but they would make say Africa is poor and stuff. Like, nigga. And then, you know how they always have that African kid. There will always be that one African kid that just looks like he just needs food, bro. Whole time it ain't nothing like that in Africa. Or, you know, it's always someone just giving the African kid like some item or something. Like, whole time Africa ain't nothing like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, he just been lied to on the news like a lot. Speed is dead ass showing the world right now. That's what I'm saying. He's doing a good thing right now, bro. Streaming Africa. I ain't really paying attention to his streams like that, but I seen it on my notification. I'm like, oh yeah. Cause I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger, I used to watch some of the streams. I ain't gonna lie.
Speed started his Africa live stream tour on December 29th, and his plan is to visit 20 countries in 28 days. And immediately when he announced it, already started having a panic attack. Speed! Africa? Bro, be careful there, man. We can't lose you. You might get captured by a militia group or some Somalian pirates randomly. Deadass, you can go on Twitter on the post and see how many people were scared for him and hating on him going there. Which is crazy because
that shit's crazy, gang.
Country he's went to has never gotten this much hate. And that's not even counting that it's before he even went. Like, you can't wait and then judge for yourself in his streams. Do you think he's seriously dumb enough to not research where the most dangerous countries are and is just going to every single place there? This should—
Nigga, not only that, as big as IShowSpeed is, nigga, you know he got a team. He probably got a team that tells him, like, if it's a good idea to go somewhere or not. Like, okay, he don't got a team like, obviously, Mr. Beast, but you know what I mean.
Prove to anyone that in 2026, in the time where almost everyone in the world has access to all information online with the touch of a button, that propaganda will always stay locked in. These people actually believe every African country looks like an episode of National Geographic. They're gonna touch down, walk out the airport, and start having to manhandle a lion trying to eat them, having to fight some tribal men throwing spears at them from huts. And look, I'm obviously not saying every African country is perfect and has a stable government. If Speed took one step down in South Sudan, Somalia, or the Congo, we would be seeing Speed's face on a tombstone by now. But to generalize a whole continent with 1.48 billion people on it is hilarious. You can go on YouTube and search up footage of these countries' cities and see how it looks. It's not that hard. So far with his streams, they've been going good and everyone's been nice. People are even going up to him with custom art to give him as a gift for coming.
Bro, chat, he made this whole art piece.
That shit raw as hell.
Art piece. Oh, you can feel it.
Hey, you wanna know what's crazy now? All these niggas that would hate on Africa are probably gonna try to go to Africa now to see it. They're probably gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what, maybe I was wrong. Africa is good. Maybe I should fly there. That's probably what they're thinking right now. I know they is. I know they is, especially if they see in IShowSpeed having a good time in Africa and shit. They're probably thinking like, oh yeah, you know what, maybe I should fly. I'm gonna fly out there one day.
Too. He made the whole art piece with this little hammer right here.
This usually some they do after somebody dies in commemoration, but they love this man so much they got him painted on street walls. Because to them, him coming and showing off their country and how normal it is means so much to them. They already know how many people still think Africa is dirt huts and riding donkeys, so it's refreshing seeing someone as big as Speed to show it's not. There isn't a single person either that did something weird like making fun of him for being a black American and not knowing his lineage. And with all this footage we've got so far, people have now started to compare this with his tour in Europe, which overall I would say was still pretty good and positive, but the amount of racism he faced was night and day. You could say since he's in Africa, he technically can't face racism because it's the same people as him, but if you're African, you know exactly how serious them tribes move and get. If your ass identifies as the wrong tribe in a certain area, they will not take it too kindly. Racism is like the first layer of things, but when you peel it back, there's always something that ends up being the replacement. Shoot, look at America. People always forget that damn near every immigrant group was hated on when coming in, even if they were white. The Irish or the Italians or the Greeks, it doesn't just happen at the skin level. But it's all positive experiences for Speed, and no one bring up anything weird like that. Meanwhile, in Europe, there was random fans coming up to him, not even saying hi, and blatantly saying the N-word to him. Doing all types of weird racial stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you become famous, there's gonna be weird niggas like that. That's just what it is. I mean, look at the Norway, isn't it? Nigga pulled him by his... One nigga literally jumped in his car after he clearly then won. Nobody else in it. But you know, some niggas just don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna lie.
To try and get a reaction out of him.
Luke, Kniga. Bro, stop playing on me, bro. Out the way, keep it here. What the?
Imagine going to the grocery store, spending money on a banana just to throw it at your favorite streamer. And I don't care what anybody says, that's...
They're not doing it. So I ain't gonna lie, they not doing that to no regular nigga. They're just doing it because IShowSpeed is IShowSpeed. Like they're doing it because they think, oh yeah, it's funny, it's for the clip. So IShowSpeed, he's gonna react to it. Like,
shit is weird as f. You'll get people like, well,
Like, nigga, he's still a regular human being at the end of the day.
They don't know any better. The words don't mean much in their country. Or, man, Tommy, you can't take a joke and troll. Come on, man, you're such a snowflake. If they know it's bad enough to get a reaction out of him that's angry, then they should know it's a bad thing. I get confused seeing this because I would never go up to a random famous person vlogging here and say a slur in their nation to get their attention. Like, if you're having one of the biggest creators on social media right now touring your country and giving it exposure, the last thing you want to do is give a bad look for you and your people. There was also a lot of nice fans he met there, and I'm not saying it's everyone doing it there, but this is trying to happen in every country. Even in China, he was getting stuff thrown at him. It's so funny too, because you'll have a group of racist people talk about how Africans have no civility in class. Meanwhile, this is the treatment Speed gets in Europe. The only country he got dragged by his hair out was in Europe. I can almost guarantee you a white person that travels to an African country won't even get 5% of what Speed got in his Europe streams. Anytime I see a vlogger that's white from America or the UK go to an African country, you always see the people welcoming, giving them gifts, teaching them their cultures and dances. I guarantee Speed felt some type of way leaving certain countries there, because I know I would. Some people were even worried on his trip because at times he looked depressed and like he didn't even want to be there. It's one thing trying to say jokes on the internet and get a rise out of somebody without being in person. It's another thing being in person and doing that same thing. Like, that's so degrading to feel like as a human. If I saw a bunch of these little kids making monkey noises at me, I'm gonna teach them what would happen in Chicago if they did it. Now we can talk about China, which happened some time ago. Honestly, even I was shocked at how much emotion he had there. I might have fell for the propaganda myself too, because I'd be forgetting they still know American content creators and watch them. I thought the Great Chinese Firewall was ironclad, but apparently a lot of people in China just watch YouTube by turning on a VPN. And also, he got reposted so much while he was in China on Chinese social media that he became a celebrity in that short time he was there. In 3 days of being in China, on Chinese TikTok, he got 2.3 million followers. Some people there ain't even know him.
Wait, what? Wait. I'm not gonna lie, I might be stupid. I'm not confused about, like, I'm just confused. Wait, is that like another TikTok or something? Y'all let me know. Hold on, wait.
And he became a celebrity in that short time he was there. In 3 days of being in China, on Chinese TikTok, he got 2.3 million.
What? Wait. Is that like a different TikTok, or is that still TikTok? Wait. Shouldn't it be the same, like, globally and stuff? Like, so, if you was to move, you could have 1 million followers on TikTok now in the US, but if you go to China, it goes to 0? Y'all let me know. I might be dumb. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all let me know.
Followers. Some people there ain't even know him. They just took a pic with him because they saw everyone doing it. Restaurants there were advertising that Speed visited on posters so people would eat there. With China streams, what broke the so-called Western propaganda, at least to my view, is the fact that America and other places are supposed to be seen as the most advanced technological places. And when Speed went to China, people saw how it wasn't even close. They not only have high-speed rail subway stations through damn near the whole country, but he could still stream in the subway with 5G Wi-Fi and had no connection loss. The fact they got good Wi-Fi built up enough in the subway so he can stream in HD is already advanced as hell. And in almost any city in China, he showed that you get full 5G Wi-Fi for free. I'd be scared to connect to airport Wi-Fi here, let alone a city Wi-Fi. I feel like I'm gonna wake up one day after connecting to airport Wi-Fi and see a Mossad agent looking at me through some spyware. People also didn't know how good Chinese cities looked until Speed started showing them, which once again is literally one search on Google to see. But throughout his streams, he was showing drone footage of the biggest cities there, which do look insane.
This is crazy.
I mean, yeah, it do look nice, but yeah, it look like a lot of regular cities. Like, I'm not trying to degrade it or nothing. Obviously, that is a nice ass city. I ain't gonna lie, that's a nice ass city. But it's like, I don't know, cause I've seen cities that look similar. I don't know. But it's a nice ass city. That shit do look wrong. I ain't gonna lie. Speed is doing a good thing by showing the world. Like, he's showing the world like how these countries actually look, instead of these. You know how the news will show you like how some countries look poor and stuff. But the whole time Speed is going there, it looks like a normal city, and this is proof of that right here. This looks like a normal city you can find in any other state. But honestly, though, it does look like a normal city, but it looks bigger. I ain't gonna lie, it got some cool colors. But yeah.
Oh my God. This is crazy. Show the whole city. Tell Taylor switch back real quick.
Taylor, switch back to us real quick for a minute.
Honestly, cities in general just be looking nice though. Like a lot cities in general, yes, they just be looking nice. Like I ain't gonna lie.
The wild thing about
Like see, I'm from Chicago. I ain't gonna lie. The city in Chicago, yeah, that's a nice ass city.
all this is because he was showing their cities on stream. He started to get accused of being a Chinese spy and operative trying to do propaganda for the country, to the point where his cameraman had to make a statement saying they've gotten $0 from the Chinese government. It's not like Speed went on his stream every day and was like, the empirical rule of Xi Jinping is the greatest, most amazing rule with zero corruption and there are no problems in this country. To the internet, if he isn't a staunch critic of the Chinese government 24/7, then he might as well be a spy. You never see this criticism when someone from another country visits America. It's always the opposite way. Two things can be true at once. China has good technology and actually, invests citizens' tax dollars into the people, and has at times government corruption where the people can't do much to fight against it. The people there also did the same thing, showed him love by giving him gifts for even coming. I feel like if he was being paid by the Chinese government as propaganda, the American government would have found out and exposed him for it by now. You don't think the CIA was already watching every move he was doing there? They probably had a custom task force assigned to Speed to see.
Yeah, I mean, this nigga's like the biggest content creator in the globally. Like this, well, he ain't the biggest content creator, but he's like one of the biggest content creators globally, especially in the US. Like I ain't gonna lie, like if that was the case, nigga, they would definitely be watching that man stream right now.
Everything he was doing in China. People may not notice it, but creators have fully taken over how the public perception is on global issues. Before, when it was just news channels, it was way worse because you got one perspective, which most of the time was biased. Also, the people at these news channels could be paid off too, and without social media, it was way harder for the public to find out. The main way people's minds used to change is big actors or musicians showing different places. MJ was the real master at this. It was a part of why he was so big. And nowadays, it may start off with something simple like Speed visiting Africa or China and someone seeing something cool there, then that person doing their own research and deciding to visit after realizing it's not as bad as they were told. Anyways, that's gonna be all for now. Happy New Year, and let me know what type of propaganda y'all fall for. Follow me on.
Yeah, shout out to Tommy NFG for the video, and yeah, if you like the video, like, subscribe, follow on my socials, hit me on the road to 1K.